still awake out there? It's been kind of a long day, hasn't it, right? All right, well, I'll try to keep it energized. All right, so I get to talk to you about the fourth vital process, right? Developing and mentoring coaches, and my topic is kind of broad. It's what leaders do. And I feel like we could spend all day talking about what we do as leaders, but I'm going to try to shrink it down into 20 minutes and give you some of the things that I see leaders do. But before I do that, I just want to set the stage by saying this. Leaders are learners. The goal of a leader is to get a little stronger and a little better every single day. And just because you have the rank of a 5-star, a 10-star, a superstar, a premier, an elite 10 coach, that does not earn you the title of a leader. A leader is earned through building trust, through working on your skills every day without stopping. Becoming a leader means that you are willing to refine and tweak, recalibrate, and look inward and have that unwavering vision of what you're here to do. So I'm going to share with you just a few things that I think are really important to producing results as a leader. All right, let's dive in. So the first one is this, right? Leaders identify individual strengths, and it's not that every single coach is motivated the same way, and I'm sure you guys get that. And unfortunately, I've learned this the hard way. I actually burned some bridges in my business at the beginning where coaches told me that I was too strict, I was too harsh, if it was my way or the highway. I didn't have that understanding that not everybody was all in, that was motivated by a deadline, that if you just set a goal for somebody, they would figure out how to do it. And I actually did the same thing with my challengers too. I just thought everybody should commit to the program. You should never have a cheat meal. You should just check off the box. That's not how people are, right? That's just how I am. And so I picked up the book Personality Plus by Florence Littauer. And so many of you may have heard other assessments, the Danny Johnson Gems, the Color Code, but I highly recommend that if you haven't read something like that you pull it out. And if it's been a while since you've read one of those books, I actually encourage you to go back. And this is an exercise that I did. I pulled out that book, I made a list of all my coaches, and I sat down and I started categorizing my coaches based on their personality styles. And I started to put them into buckets. And I began to realize that the way that I was speaking to coaches in my organization was actually turning them away. Because certain people, they just needed me to give them a phone call or a handwritten note, or they needed to know that I understood their why and that there was that mutual trust and respect there. Other people, they needed public recognition, and if I recognized them, if I did a shout out, that was all they needed to keep working towards their goals. Other people, they didn't want to be called out. There was no recognition. They just wanted to know that behind the scenes I knew that they were doing a good job, that I respected them, but that also I needed to give them a step-by-step guide for exactly what they needed to do in their business, and they were good. They would check off the boxes, right? And so as I began to categorize my coaches, I realized that, man, I have a team of people that is willing to work towards a common goal, but I'm not speaking to them in the right way. So I began to create incentives for my team based on what their motivation was, what drove them to be successful. I also started to mentor my coaches based on their personality style. Do you guys do that? Do you do that in your organization, or are you just looking at what motivates you and that is how you are teaching? And that is one thing that will create this great team culture and this great trust, is when your organization knows that you care about them just as much as you care about the mission. The next one is this: leaders customize a strategy. You know me, right? I am the marketing plan person, and that's just what I do. But this is not a one-size-fits-all business. Not every coach wants to be a top coach, wants to stand on stage and present, right? And so we can't mentor our coaches the way that we are personally motivated. That comes down to even the rank versus the recognition piece and the way you build your organization. And so as I was building my business, I sort of got away from asking the very simple question this year of what motivates you to become a diamond coach. Because I just took it for granted that everybody knew what it meant to be diamond, and everybody just wanted to be diamond, and it was shared across the board. We just knew that. But that wasn't the case. And I started to ask in my Push to Diamond groups, hey, What is it that makes you want to be diamond? What does that mean for you? And the response was all over the board. You know, some people were like, I just want to be a diamond because it will make me feel as if I'm a leader. It will give me credibility in the organization. I get to be a part of the rising stars. Or I had some people that said, becoming a diamond coach would allow me to quit my job. It would help me create income. And number one, I was like, dude, I gotta really talk more about what diamond means because they're not quitting their full-time jobs quite yet, right? But then I even dug in more. And I said, let's take these two and you tell me what's gonna come first. Is it the rank that you want to have first? Or is it the income that you want to have first? Because isn't that going to make a really big difference in the way I guide that coach in their business? And so then I started to have coaches in the conversation. It's just like Miguel said yesterday. We have to stop. We have to listen. We have to close our mouth. We have to ask questions. Just like we would ask questions to our customers, we have to ask questions to our coaches too. Because we want to make sure that we are directing them in the way that they want to be directed. Because if we do that, what is going to happen? They're going to be around. They're going to be around for the long haul because they're reaching their goals. And sometimes that means we have to put our agenda on the back burner because we know that this coach really needs to have that income before they get to that rank, because it's what's going to keep them around for the long haul. It's what's going to make them feel fulfilled on the inside. The other thing too is when I begin to build and customize this strategy, I teach my coaches, look, if you're going to build your business and you're going to build it for that income and you want to really get that weak leg churning, right, you're going to have to keep your blinders on. Because there are going to be people that start the business at the same time as you or go through these push groups or these focus groups at the same time as you do, and they may get there faster. But remember, keep your eye on the prize. As a leader, we have to encourage our coaches to stick to the plan and stay consistent, just as we would encourage our challengers to stick with the 21-day fix, that you can't just eat the portion fix, you can't just drink Shakeology and do workouts for 2 weeks and expect to have a total body transformation. It will be the same with your business. And we, as the leaders, are able to do that. We're able to keep them on course and keep them focused. All right, the next one is this. Leaders have a playbook. We have to plan the work, and we have to work the plan. So, you guys have a system. You have a system for your business. Every single month, I sit down and I take out my calendar and I write down when I'm going to run challengers, when I'm going to start my coach trainings, when I'm actually going to start advertising for those coach trainings, when I'm going to talk about the business opportunity, am I going to run a free group? Should I do, a power hour with my team on the last Monday of the month because I know that's when I need to get people amped up and focused on getting to their month goals. And I create a plan for myself, but then I also teach the plan. Because what's going on inside of my head, I can't expect my coaches to see that visual of that plan and be able to implement it. I have to teach it. I have to take it a step further, and I have to explain to them why I'm placing these challenge groups at this specific time of the month. Because we have been in the business for at least 1, 2, 3 years, some of us 5, 6, 7 years. You have seen the trends of the years, right? You know when people, it's going to be a little harder to make the challenge pack sale. You know around the holidays, things get a little more difficult. You have to be a little more creative. You also know what challenge groups work. The length of the challenge groups throughout the holidays. Okay, you've been through a couple of launches now. You know how to do this. So it's our job as the leader to actually speak that so that they can understand. It gives color to the plan. Instead of just throwing a monthly calendar at them, you're actually teaching them what to do. And that provides your team clarity and focus and direction. And they don't feel like a bunch of little squirrels chasing after a nut, right? There is a direction. We're all moving in a common direction, trying to get to a common goal. And the last thing on this one, the most important thing is we have to inspire our coaches, and we do that by modeling to them. We show them how this process works. We actually get out there and we implement the plan that we put in place. And there are times when I would go back to my coaches, is what I'll do is I'll actually share this. I have an elite and premier contenders group that I run. I have a rising stars, and then I have my team pages. And I'll share this with them at the end of every month, but then I'll go back periodically. Once a week, when we have a call, I'll say, I had to tweak my plan a little bit. Hey guys, this didn't go exactly as I thought it was going to be. Here's how I changed it up. So that they are getting to walk through the process just as I am, and there are no secrets. And we work out the bugs together. And it makes us so much more productive. So I highly encourage you to really look at your organization and say, do I do those things? Do I have a playbook, or am I just flying by the seat of my pants? Also, leaders push back. So there's a healthy pushback and a not healthy pushback, right? But there are going to be things in this business that happen that we don't necessarily care for. There are going to be monthly promotions that come out that Beachbody puts out there that we're not going to be excited about. There might even be a program launch that you're like, that's not really my niche. I don't really want to do that. And this actually happened to me. It happened to me just earlier this year with the Beachbody Health Bet. The Beachbody Health Bet was announced, and I'll be honest with you, I wasn't really excited about it. I sort of just kind of pushed it under the rug, and I had used the Challenge Tracker app when it first was launched, and my customers really preferred Facebook. And they had been with me for a while, and that was the comfort zone for me, and I was doing what was comfortable. But the noise kept getting louder and louder, and my team started talking about it. And they started asking me questions, and it just stopped me in my tracks, and I thought to myself, you know what, I need to lean into this a little bit. Could this be good for my organization? How could this benefit our team as a whole if I get on board and implement the Beachbody Health Bet? So I started thinking, okay, this could help my customers that have fallen off track, that are not engaged in challenge groups. This could help them get re-engaged. This could help coaches that are not engaged in the business right now even just get accountable to their fitness again. This could just re-inspire people because people are motivated differently. Okay, this could also help my new coaches get their new customers on board and help them get their business started. This could help them boost confidence. And so I started to see how this could really play out and that this could be a benefit to the organization. And so what I did is I made a choice. And I didn't just sort of step in with one foot. I didn't kind of say, let's just see if this health bet thing plays out, right? I'll just kind of implement it. I was like, no, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. And as a leader, when we decide that we are going to get behind something, we got to get behind it 100%. And so I made the choice to create a health bet challenge group. I trained my team on it. I taught them how to use the Challenge Tracker app. I even went so far as to teach them, okay, how do you get your customers started right? And then how do you transition your customers at the end of the Beachbody Health Bet so that they are moving into phase 2 and they're continuing to get results. And because I made the decision to lead a group, to lead from the trenches, to teach them how to do it, to work through the bugs as their leader, that month, which was August, I had the highest number of personally sponsored coaches in Success Club that month than I did in every other month of 2016. That is healthy pushback, when you can see the value in an opportunity and implement it. So do you have your eyes wide open to the opportunity, or are you sort of stuck in your own ways? And the next thing is this. Leaders, we know how to manage change. It's not easy. There are going to be times that we are faced with some struggles, we're faced with some hardships, whether it's personally, whether it's in our business, and we're going to have to make a choice of how we're going to have to handle that. And there is a right way and a not so right way to handle those changes. And so one of the things that I do is I remove myself from the situation. And I always share this with my coach. I'm like, give yourself 24 hours. Unplug, walk away from the computer, shut the screen, go for a walk, take a nap, my favorite pastime. Go take a nap, go do something different. I vent to my poor husband, who unfortunately has to see me come out of my office, flailing my arms around. And yes, I do get heated at things. But the one thing that I've learned to do is kind of check it right there. When I open the doors to my team page or to any other, Beachbody page, I choose to maintain a positive climate. And I choose to I address the elephant in the room. I will say, hey guys, this might not be the most ideal situation right now. Yes, it might stink. This is a challenge. It's not hard. We will get through this. And this is what we will do, because as leaders, it is our job to make sure that they see us as that strong, confident leader, that they are confident that we will get them through any difficult situation that comes our way. So I address it, and then I tell them how we're going to get through it. This is the solution that I have. Here's what we're going to do. This is the action plan. We are not going down like this. And when you have that positive climate within your team page and within your organization, it trickles down. Every once in a while, somebody will come in and they'll complain. And then wouldn't you know, now it used to be that I would have to shut it down. Now one of my coaches just steps in. They come up with a solution. They tell them this is not the place to be doing that, right? It's shut down immediately because we've maintained that kind of climate. We've become solution-oriented, and we just go with it. And then, like Molly Fletcher, who was our keynote this morning, she talked about, people that manage change effectively. And what did she say? When a pitcher strikes somebody out, what do? They don't stand on the mound and sort of, be upset about it. They next one, the next one's out. I'm gonna get the next one out. And they just keep going, and they never stop. And as leaders, we have to sometimes be able just to pick ourselves right back up, because when we can't manage our change effectively, what ends up happening is it sets us back 3 to 6 months in our business if we start letting that get the best of us. And then we have to realize that what we do, the choices we make now, are also going to affect us 3 to 6 months while it's happening, 3 to 6 months after, right? So maybe that's something that we have to work on, is managing that change. But last but not least is discipline. I think you've probably heard this a few times, right? You've heard this a few times over the past few days. But as a leader, leaders are disciplined. They are self-starters. They don't need somebody to tell them what to do and when to do it. You have a to-do list, but you also have a don't-do list. You know how to keep your eye on the prize. Yes, we all get distracted, but are able to course correct yourself and pull yourself back to the things that are in line with the goals that you want to accomplish. Because there are going to be opportunities, there are going to be things that people are going to ask you to do that are going to come along in your business that sound like they're good, and they might somewhat be related to your business, but is it going to get you to your why? Is it going to get you to the end result? And we have to be able to say no to the distractions and to keep ourselves on track. And the one thing, as I was thinking about this presentation today, is this. Champions don't become champions in the ring. They're merely recognized there. You want to see how great leaders are created? Don't look at the stage. Go to their house. Look at what they do when nobody else is around. How they treat people. What they listen to for personal development. How they manage their time. What are their own habits that they practice every single day? Because that is where real leadership develops. And then this. Your job as a leader is so important. It is the most important job. Like Ravita said, you are holding the lives of your coaches in your hand, and you have the ability to really inspire them to do great things. So, leaders become great, not because of their power, but because of their ability to empower others. Thanks, guys. Have a great afternoon. Bye.